I know I've shown you guys some chocolate before, and every season, every month practically, it seems there's some new flavor out. But I was just going to show you guys a few different variety of things to kind of give you an idea of what's here. I think definitely if you get a chance to come here and get your hands on some of these things, they're really tasty, and the flavor is you know, a little lighter than maybe people in the States, for example, might be used to. We're used to Doritos that have like tons of flavor. It's a little more delicate, but I think you know, you kind of grow to appreciate it. And then when you go back home and eat stuff from the States, it's a little overwhelming. So, but I thought I'd just show you guys, first of all, the some potato chips. These are Calbee potato chips. Now Calbee is like Lay's potato chips in the States. It's a super popular, really common brand that always makes potato chips. And there's different kinds. There's some that are specific to different regions of Japan. We have our own Kyushu flavored one, for example. This is one that I just saw and I thought was kind of interesting, so I'd try it. It's a kimuchi and goma abura flavored one. So it's goma oil, excuse me, sesame oil, sesame oil. So, which I thought was a kind of a good idea to mix the two to kind of take the edge off the kimchi. So, really popular to have kimchi mixed with Japanese foods. Now, just because I know some people get confused and think China and Korea and Japan are all the same place. Kimchi is from Korea, so, but that's a pretty popular flavor that we like to use a lot in stuff here in Japan. Now, it's not true kimchi flavor very often. You know, it's kind of like in the States where you're like, oh, this is Mexican food, and it's not. It's Tex-Mex. It's kind of the same thing. So it's not nearly maybe as spicy or maybe as original in terms of flavor, because I've been to Korea and I've had real kimchi and it's a little different. So, but anyways, I already opened the bag because my daughter ate some of these, but I wanted to just show you guys. They're just, you know, this is the average size bag of potato chips in Japan. There is one that's just a tiny bit bigger, but usually it's this size or an individual size. Now this is considered a lot, and you know, usually a whole family will share. You know, I know in the States this like might be what you have at snack time when you're watching a game, but so these potato chips, you know, just look like normal potato chips. They're not anything different really, just normal size kind of potato chips. And the flavor actually, I feel weird eating in front of you guys. It does have a kick because it is spicy, but the sesame oil really does take the edge off and makes it really tasty. So, and the smell, I love the smell of sesame oil, so they smell so yummy. So I would recommend these. Now my daughters, they thought they were still really spicy and kind of hard to eat, especially my little girl. My 8-year-old, she was alright with it, so go figure. But there are much spicier versions of snacks in Japan, and I'll try to show you guys some of those sometime. But that's just one kind of introduction to potato chips. So, of course, potato chips are super popular. You do find some of the ones that are the kettle, kind of like baked kinds of potato chips too. Those are kind of getting more popular as well. So, another thing I wanted to show you guys really quick was Koala no Machi, which is Koala's March, like parade, kind of, if you will. These are a cookie with a chocolate center kind of snack, and I can't think of really anything in the States that's like this. Maybe people in other countries, maybe you guys have something kind of like this snack. We don't really have anything like this in the States. But this is meant to, the money supposedly from the sales of these goes to the Australian Koala Foundation to save the koalas. So that's kind of cool. And the cute thing about these is usually they have chocolate on the inside, which these do. Now there are a variety of other kind of specialty flavors that come out. Of course, strawberry is pretty common. And then occasionally you might see like cafe latte and, you know, cream, stuff like that. So, but they're made by Lotte, which is a very popular company to make snacks. And they come in this little foil pack. And then you can kind of see inside they're like these little tiny cookies. I don't know if you guys can see that. But there's little pictures on them of koalas. And, you know, this guy's like screaming and drooling. This guy here has a present in his hand. I know you guys can't see this. That's okay. But the fun thing is to kind of try to find stuff that's like unique. Maybe some people say if you can find the one where he has eyebrows, then that's like good luck. there's different kinds of things that go around depending on what's popular at the time of which ones are good luck. But they're pretty tasty and they're a really fun kind of mess-free snack, especially for like little kids. So I think they're a good choice. Another thing, let's see here, that's kind of along the same lines is this colon, and which is like a terrible name for a snack, isn't it? But it's more like koro, like rolling, which is the sound of that. So when you just see the name in English, it's like, what? Oh my god, is that a real snack? Okay. But it's by Glico, or Glico, and they're a pretty common, you know, snack company as well. And there's lots of flavors and varieties of these too. It's like a really wafery kind of cookie, and then with a creamy filling, and then it's cut up into these little tiny bite-sized pieces. And like I said, there's lots of different flavors. This actually isn't the standard flavor. Standard flavor is just like a cream filling. This is a special cafe au lait version that I really like. I think is pretty tasty. So you just open it from the top. Always things in Japan has cute boxes, right? And inside then you can just open the inside, and it's kind of cool because the inside is like meant to still stay inside the box, so you just open the top part there real easily, and then you've got these little yummy little kind of wafery cookies inside. And like I said, these are, you know, super sweet and yummy, and they make a really good snack actually with coffee too. So I like these because I think they, you know, can have a little bit more of a grown-up edge to them. Not like the Quado no Machi's pretty kid-oriented, but they're good. So that's one more snack that I think is pretty tasty. Then we get to some stuff that's more like fruity and chewy, and I think probably one of my favorite snacks in Japan is this snack here. It's called Milky, and it's made by Fujiya, and Fujiya is like a cake company, and their character is Peiko-chan, and Peiko-chan's been around for a really long time. I should know, she just celebrated a birthday. I want to say it's something like 60 years old. Pretty crazy, right? So you could tell kind of from the design of her character that she's been around for a while. So, but these are, gosh, you know, we don't have anything like this in the States either. It's they're like it's a milk-based kind of candy, and if they're really fresh, they're chewy. If they've been sitting on the shelf for a while, they get a little harder, and you have to kind of keep them in your mouth for a while. But they're just like kind of like hard caramels, if you will, and they're just, you know, wrapped up like a little candy normally, and you open them up, they look like this. And like I said, if they're really fresh, then they tend to be a little more chewy, and they'll melt in your mouth kind of like a caramel will. But this one's a little harder, so you'd need to keep it in your mouth. And these are the villain behind lots of people losing fillings in their teeth. So, but they're super yummy. I think they're probably kind of the closest to like caramels or like a bit of honey, kind of maybe. But the flavor is milk-based, so which is really just condensed milk, really sweet condensed milk kind of candy. So really tasty though. And then this too has something kind of like a folklore, like this one that I just unwrapped here. Usually the wrapper is blue and pink, like this one here, or yellow. You can see this one's got blue and pink flowers on it. But the one I just unwrapped here has yellow and green, and if you get one of these and the little green is a clover, if you happen to have a wrapper that has a 4-leaf clover, then you'll have a lucky day. So that's another kind of thing that's common here for that. And then along the lines of kind of an older kind of candy in Japan that's chewy, I really like this bontan ame, which is it's a fruity flavored kind of snack, and it's made out of yuzu, which I don't know what the English word for that is. It's like a kind of orange or tangerine, but a little more on the sour side. So it's a very old snack in Japan. It's been around forever, and a lot of people buy it because it's real popular with tourists, and the reason being is that it's just a chewy candy, kind of like a Starburst. And inside it's this kind of like mochi, kind of rice cake flavored thing that has that yuzu flavor. And then the funny thing is that you can eat the paper. So it jumped out of my hands. The paper's rice paper, and so you just pop the whole thing in your mouth. You don't peel off the paper, you can't, because it'll stick to it. So you just eat the whole thing, and makes it kind of chewy. And you can tell by It's going to be too chewy. I'm not going to be able to keep talking. You can tell by the flavor, maybe it's a little older style snack. It's not as sweet. So I think it's a really good kind of more traditional Japanese kind of traditional old style Japanese snack. So there's that one. And then kind of to finish things off, I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys this candy here that's called pucho. And this is kind of like Starburst. There's another thing that's kind of like this in Japan called haichu, but the different part to it is that it's this really chewy kind of candy, but then it's also got pieces of like gummy candy stuck inside it. And these are really super popular right now because AKB48 does the promotional stuff for them, so you see a lot of people wanting to get these. They're real popular with middle school and high school girls, and lots of different flavors. This is soda. That's a really common flavor for candy in Japan, soda flavored. Not to be confused with cola flavored. Now, depending on where you are in the States, you sometimes call your colas soda, so yeah. I'm still eating that other candy. I'm sorry, you guys. But, like I said, these are just like, you know, Starburst kind of. You just, like, open them up like gum. And then they're in this little silver foil. And you just open them up. And you can see here, that big old chunk there is a chunk of like a gummy candy. And so when you're eating it, you're chewing on it just like a regular Starburst, but then it's like inside the Starburst is a gummy bear. Oh, how weird. But it's not a gummy bear, it's just a gummy ball. So, but that's one of the other really popular snacks in Japan. So